Alright, so what we're going to start off by doing is just clearing out a flat area. Okay, now that you have that cleared out, what you want to do is make an 11 by 11 square. You can make it with whatever block, but I just like to use this. Okay, I'm just gonna level things out. Then what you want to do is fill this in with dirt. Seriously? Alright, and now what we're going to do is we're going to put some water in the middle. And then we're going to till all of this. Alright, and then we're going to plant our crop. So you can use either carrots or potatoes, doesn't matter. I prefer carrots just because I think they look better once they're grown. Potatoes look kind of funny. Well, at least on the texture pack that I'm using. And once you have all your carrots planted, the next thing you want to do is put your glass down. I don't know how I got that coal in there, but you're going to do 3 high glass all the way around. Except for one side. Oh my god. Why does that keep on happening? That's so annoying. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that. Alright, so one side, and you want this to be the side that's facing wherever you want your villagers to end up. What you're going to do is you're going to go out like this. Going to go out 3. And then you're going to build a little platform like this. So a 3 by 3 platform, and then 2, 2. Just like that. Okay, so just you can leave it like that for now. And what you're going to do is put stone right there, glass right there, stone right there, and then, like I said, glass all the way around. And be mindful that you are going to have to break some of the glass to get the villagers in. But, you know, as long as you have excess glass, that shouldn't be a problem. And since this project requires quite a lot of glass, then it shouldn't be a big deal to have to spare a couple after you break it. Alright, so once you have your glass all the way around, what you're going to do is you're going to bring some glass out like this. And now you're going to place the beds down. So what you want to do is, doesn't matter which way they face, but you basically just need to put 4 beds on this platform. Just like that. Again, they can face in any direction, but that's just the way I like to do it. And now what you want to do is you want to put your trapdoors down. So you got a trapdoor here, and a trapdoor here. And I will explain how this works after I go through the tutorial. But now what you're going to do is you're going to add your roof or the floor for the next level. And that's just going to be all stone all the way around. Whatever your building block is. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to add the composter. And what else we want is some kind of light. So we want to make sure that it's relatively well lit in here. But I'm going to worry about that later just because I don't have enough room in my hotbar to keep all that stuff. So you have your composter, you have your farmland, you have your bed. Now, another important thing that we want to do is we're going to go ahead and put the trapdoors here for the next level. But for this bottom level, we also want trapdoors here. Okay? These trapdoors are going to prevent the baby villagers from, when they're falling down, from falling onto one of the bed platforms instead of all the way straight down. Okay? So that's one layer right there. That's one level. And so basically, what you can do is repeat this as many times as you want. Okay? And so repeating it would just be adding another layer of dirt right here. Adding more dirt. Okay. And then, like I said, we want our shroom light. It doesn't have to be a shroom light, obviously. Shroom lights are pretty hard to come by if you haven't gone to the nether yet, at least. Oh, important thing, if you are going to use a shroom light, and I've made this mistake many times, make sure you're holding down shift so that you don't compost it on accident. And let's go ahead and get our smooth stone bricks back, as well as this guy. So what I like to do here is just a very simple design, just like this. Just very, very simple here, but always looks good. And I also like to just throw in those trapdoors just for added style points. And like I said, you're going to need to bust that open anyway, so you might as well just leave it. And then once you're at the top, you can just add another water bucket, just do the same thing, till this field, plant the carrots, add the compost or the shroom light, build the walls of glass, and just do the exact same thing you did on the other floor. And you can stack this as high as you want, really. Usually in my survival worlds, I like to go about 10. And you will get so many villagers if you do 10. You will be just getting a constant stream of villagers, which is really nice. So now that you have that, and you would add the beds here and everything, how this works is that obviously the beds allow two villagers, which you're going to bring in there. Let me just go ahead and grab those guys. Okay, so you're going to spawn 2 villagers in here. And basically what you want to do is make one of them a farmer. Looks like this guy's already gotten it. And what you can do just to be safe is trade with one of the farmers to lock in his profession, just to make sure he doesn't lose it, because sometimes they will, and that can mess up the functionality of the farm, obviously, since they won't be collecting crops. So just go ahead and lock him in. Now you have a farmer and you have another villager, and they will breed. You give it enough time, the crops will grow, they will harvest the crops, they'll share the crops with each other, and then they'll have enough food to breed. And since they have these beds over here, they'll have enough beds to breed. And once a baby villager spawns, the genius part of this design is that the baby villager will automatically try to go over to the beds. Pretty much automatically, because baby villagers love to jump on beds. So he will walk over to the beds, and unbeknownst to him, he will fall through here because he thinks these trapdoors are solid blocks, but they're really not. So he'll fall down here, and this leads us to the next part of our design here, which is the funnel, or the transportation system for the villagers. So basically what you're going to want to do here is dig down pretty much however far you want, however far you feel like is safe, so that you won't be hitting the surface. And you're going to this is just super simple. You're going to place a water source right there. And what you want to do is you want to, just to make it easy on yourself, you can grab some torches and light up the area. And all you're going to do now is you're going to make it 3 high. I like to make it 3 high. I don't know if that's strictly necessary, but that's the easiest way to do it. And all you want to do is keep digging this tunnel so that this single water source expands all the way down it. And the thing is, you don't want to go too far. Ideally, if you want optimum villager breeding efficiency, you want wherever you're bringing your villagers to be relatively close to the villager breeder. And the reason for that is that whatever you're doing with your villagers, you want villagers to be in the process of breeding while you're doing that thing, right? So if you're too far away, even if you're in your spawn chunks, the crops won't grow in the villager breeder, and therefore villagers won't be able to breed. So you want to be within render distance, right? Because that's what the distance within which crops will still grow. So generally, that needs to be you know, it needs to be relatively close. But here's the thing, it can't be too close, right? Because where your villagers are ending up can't interfere with the existing villages that are already set up in the villager breeder, right? So a village is established whenever there are a certain number of villagers and a certain number of beds, okay? And what you don't want to happen is for the newly bred villagers that are going to be transported away to count in the total villager cap of the villages which exist in the villager breeder, because otherwise that would halt breeding. So you want to get them relatively far away, okay? And right now I've already gone plenty far enough, probably too far, right? Probably too far, actually. So what I'm actually going to do is not go quite this far. So let's just see. No, didn't mean to do that. All right, come on. All right, so, okay, let's see what our, okay, so we're at 1 here. So what we want to do, the radius of a village is 32 blocks, okay? So you want to be at least 32 blocks away, but you always want to give a little cushion room there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and go to 50, and that should be perfectly fine, okay? So we're going to stop right here, and I realize I went a little too far. It's not a problem. We can just close this off. Not a big deal. And here is where we're going to build the water elevator. So obviously you got your villagers down here, but you want to bring them up to the surface. So this is a super simple design. It's really easy to make. What you're going to need is a fence gate, and is that pretty much it? You need soul sand, obviously, and you need kelp, as well as a water bucket, obviously. Okay, so your villagers are being pushed along here, and now what you want to do is you want to get that guy right there, okay, and the soul sand is going to be 1 above it. You're going to punch out 1 block right there. Let's just go ahead and cover this up right here. And now what you're going to do is you're going to clear out this area a little bit, and this is going to be the tunnel that goes up. You're going to put a couple gates right here, and you're going to open the gates. Oh my gosh. You're going to open the gates. Jesus Christ. All right. Open the gates like this so you can pass through. And what this is going to do is it's going to push, let me revise this a little bit. This is a little wrong. So it needs to be closer to the water source. That was my mistake. It needs to be closer to the water source. So what we need to do here is probably about right here is where the fence needs to be. So it works. It's going to work a lot better if it's closer to the water source. All right, good. And then again, soul sand right here. Fence gates like that. This guy is just going straight up. And what an important thing you need to do is you need to break a block out right here behind it. Place a water bucket there so that the water flows in here. And this is basically how it pushes the villagers into the stream right here. So they go on here, they go on the fence, they get pushed in here, and boom. And now the last part, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, very simple. You're just gonna place a water bucket at the top. You're gonna fill it up with kelp, which will turn all of those blocks into water source blocks, okay? Then you can just break the kelp, and you should go flying up once all the kelp breaks. And now what I like to do on the top is, this isn't the only way to do it, obviously, but I think this is the easiest way to make a little villager collection system, is you're going to, oh my god, sign, there we go, okay. Going to make a glass funnel like this, okay, 2 up. I'm gonna make another little thing right here, okay. You're gonna make a wall of 2 on each side. Gonna extend that wall over here, just like that, okay, should be like this. You can even do 1 higher just to prevent anyone from jumping out, because sometimes they do. And now, obviously you need to extend the water up here, so you can just place water source blocks, or you can add more kelp. It's easiest just to grab a few buckets. And then you want to place 1 right there, and add a sign right here to stop it from falling. So the villagers will all fall right in here. And now what you can do is you can actually set up a really nifty system for automatically dispensing the villagers into minecarts. And this is a really cool design. It doesn't originate with me, obviously, but it's pretty simple. Basically, what you need to do is you want to grab some redstone, some powered rails. Okay, some just regular rails. You want to grab a dispenser. You want to grab a hopper. You want to grab a chest. You want to grab a redstone block. And you want to grab some mine carts. And I'm probably missing something. You need a button, obviously. Okay. So here's how you do this. This is a little tricky, but it's not too bad. Okay. So what you want to do here is you want to make a dispenser, just like this. And this is the side that the villagers are going to be coming out of, so just keep that in mind, okay? Hopper, chest, place the minecart in there, and you want to fill that up with minecarts. You can even do a double chest right there and fill it up with minecarts, okay? And now you're going to put a redstone block right here. Powered rail. Okay. You're gonna go over here, and here's kind of the weird part. Okay. You want it like this, and I've already done that wrong. Okay. Let's go down here. Sorry, I was one too high. There. Just move the dispenser down one level. Okay. And we're gonna do this. We're gonna go there, fill that in, boom, boom, boom. Okay, just like that. Okay, very nice. And what this is basically gonna do is it's gonna catch anybody that's any villagers that are in there. But the great thing is that it will only catch one villager at a time, and it will always prefer an adult villager to a baby villager, which is perfect, right? Because you don't want to be grabbing baby villagers, okay, because they're not useful. So let's see this system in action, if we can. What I'm going to do is I'm going to expedite the breeding process, just so that we can get results sooner. Okay, so let's give these guys some carrots. Okay, just like this. There you go. Pick up all those carrots. Start breeding. Let's not let them escape either while we're at it. Okay, let's see if they start. They should start breeding. And once they do, we will see a baby villager sprout out and fall right into our trap. Alright, let's just wait. Sometimes they need more carrots. Let's go ahead and try to throw them some more, perhaps. Yep, there they are. As soon as I go for it. All right, and we should see. Oh, I actually need that button. I forgot to do the button. Should see a little baby pop out any second now. There he goes, right into our trap. See, it didn't even take 5 seconds, and we should see him come up here any moment now. And actually, what you want to do is design this in such a way that you can like place the button right on the dispenser. What I usually do is I set up a redstone circuit so that I can press the button from somewhere else. Especially if I'm doing this for like a trading hall where I have a little center where I assign my villagers their professions. I usually put the button in wherever that is. And make sure that this is all covered up, because the baby villager will just run right out if it's not all covered up. Okay, we should be getting that guy any second now. Let's go and put that minecart back in there. It does take a little while for them to go through the system, especially if it's kind of far away. But this is a great distance, because these villagers are not going to be within the range of that village. All right, we're at 52, and over here is like basically at 0. So that's a great distance. Let's go ahead and go down and see how our baby is doing. See? There he is. Oh, and it looks like we've made a mistake here. This is totally my fault. Let's go ahead and add another gate. And this is something you're going to have to deal with, is troubleshooting. Okay, so add another gate here. Open that up. And just to make sure that the water is only flowing in one direction. Okay, so we should see him pop right up. There he goes. And he's going to go right in there. See? And what I'm going to do, just to speed up this process a little bit, is put an adult villager in here so you can see how the minecart system works. Okay? Press this button. Dispenses a minecart. And it picked up the baby. In my experience, it picks up the adult before the baby. That's very strange. Okay, let's see. Minecart. Put that guy in there. Boom. Okay, so I don't know why it picked up the baby, but really this isn't a big deal. Worst case scenario, you're just going to have to wait for 20 minutes for the baby to grow up. So I'm not sure why I did that, though, because the vast majority of the time that I've used this, it tends to pick up the adults first. So that's very strange. I'll have to investigate that. Let's go ahead and just put a bunch of adults and babies in here, and hopefully you can see what I mean, in that it generally tends to prefer the adult to the baby. Okay, so we're just going to put a lot of guys in here. Right, I keep doing that. Minecart. Okay, minecart. All right, 4 minecarts. How's that? All right, so we can test our theory 4 times. 1. See, adult. Adult. Baby. Strange. Adult. Okay. So the results are inconsistent. I apologize for that, and I'm not sure why that's happening. Another drawback of this design, and I don't know if it's exactly a drawback, but you know, due to the fact that mobs will suffocate if there are too many of them in a given space, you can only have 20 villagers in here at a time. I believe it's 20. I believe that's the cap. So after that, they're going to start suffocating and dying pretty quickly. But you know, you don't want a bunch of villagers anyway, because that's going to slow down your computer. So it's not a huge deal. You know, if you're sort of constantly using new villagers, then you shouldn't really need like a huge stockpile built up anyway. But you know, if you do want to build up a stockpile, it's pretty simple. All you have to do is dispense them, and then you can put them wherever. The one thing about this is that it does use a lot of iron because of all the minecarts. So yeah, you're not going to be able to mass produce villagers until you have a reliable source of iron, like from an iron farm, for example. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks.